Hello sports fans, welcome back to another video. Today we have the Dallas Mavericks, who surprised many and ended up making it all the way to the finals last year. It was a pretty crazy run. Luka and Kyrie, the duo, ended up doing really well. I mean, when they joined, I was like, this looks pretty good, but I did not think, even a year later, that they would have the success that they did this last season. And I do have to give credit to the rest of the team. I thought that many players just played in their roles. And it was a great run through the West. They did lose to the Celtics in the finals and kind of got whooped, but still, the team changed some during the offseason as well. So, will the Mavericks finally get another title this year? I thought that Luka Doncic played just some of his best basketball last season. Regular season, I thought maybe he should have won the MVP. It's not that big of a deal, but like he had a case for it. And in the playoffs, like he was kind of hurt for some of it, but he played great in the playoffs too. Especially when you consider like he played some great competition, throughout that whole playoffs through the West and obviously the finals. Now, Kyrie Irving wasn't quite as good throughout. Like I thought his finals was pretty disappointing, but he definitely had a few good series and some great games overall. But that was great for the Mavs that that duo was able to work out, like I said before. And the talk of the town is the addition of Klay Thompson. And I will say this, Klay isn't as good as he used to be. That's obvious. I'm a Warriors fan and I saw Klay do so many great things for them. But I do think that he could help the Mavs some because he's still a good shooter. If you look at the numbers, he's still a great shooter. And even with the defensive struggles, I think he should be able to help the Mavs. Maybe he can't guard ones and twos like he used to, but I think the Mavs will just be able to work around some of his strengths, so maybe he could guard more threes and fours, because guarding ones and twos is hard for him now. But Derek Lively is very strong, and he was a rookie last year, so he could get even better. He has a great backup in Gafford, and those two were honestly pretty key for the Mavs during the playoffs last year. Kind of underrated, but I also love PJ Washington's defense, so even if his shot isn't falling, he'll be important to the team. And speaking of defense, I like that the Mavs got Najee Marshall to counter the Derrick Jones Jr. loss, and Quentin Grimes is a great addition to the Mavs. I mean, he could shoot the ball well. Last year maybe wasn't as good, but he's also a good defender too. So looking at all these pieces, I mean, the Mavs have a lot of great defenders. I know there's a lot of talk about Luka, Kyrie, and Klay not being great defenders, and they, I don't think they're the best defenders in the world, but I think they should be good defensively still. And I think all three of those guys defensively, the talk that they're bad is a little overblown, but I think that they'll be good on both sides of the ball. I mean, like I said, Luka and Kyrie will still lead the offense, and Klay will do, I think, something for them there, so looking good there. I will probably say this a decent amount in my previews, but the West is very competitive, but the Mavs still have a great chance to make it back to the finals. I mean, like I said, Luka and Kyrie paired up together great last year. And the team just seems to come through in the clutch, and they play around what other teams throw at them really well. I was impressed through every Western series, what they were able to do with all these tough opponents, And like I said, Luka, Kyrie, and Klay are often mentioned as why the defense won't be strong, and last year they did a fine job with Luka and Kyrie, and they still have a lot of pieces that could help them, so I'm not too concerned there. Klay winning a title on the Mavs would do something for him. I mean, I don't think it's going to boost his legacy up so much just because the talk will be, especially if I think it'll go the way it would if they did win one, Luka and Kyrie would get a lot of the credit, but it would do something for him, and I think Klay will play into his role. I don't doubt that at all. I'm still a huge Klay fan, and I think he will do that. But will the Mavs make it back to the finals? I don't quite think so. I might take it a step further and say they'll win just one playoff series. I know this might sound crazy, but I just think, like I said, the West is so competitive. And I was talking about how their defense will be good, but in the playoffs it may be harder because teams will be a little more familiar with it. And I do agree that Luka, Kyrie, and Klay could get taken advantage of some in the playoffs. Not so much, but you need to be great there this year. But I think they have the pieces to prove me wrong. So even though I think they'll only win one playoff series, you never know. It could be back to the finals. But thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more.